Okay, I've always wanted to do this. All right, let's salute the flag. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this is the July meeting of the Conservation Commission. Roll call: Joseph LaValle.
Here.
Heather Legier.
Here.
Ann Raponi.
Here.
Toby Cassidy. Here. And Debbie Santiano McCatney.
Present.
What's the question?
Present. Here.
Present. So we would normally approve the minutes for June at this time, but currently I think we just received them and we're sorting that out. The first public hearing is for the Massachusetts DP file number 1293369. It's a notice of intent for Robert Belmonte at 17 Washington Street. It's Robert. Hi, Robert. Can you please come up and state your name and address, which I just did? Okay, is there this microphone there at all? All right, so please bear with me. I am new to this, and I'm definitely going to make some mistakes, but we need to have a motion to start the meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. So please state your name and address for the record.
Robert Belmonte, 17 Washington Street in Revere.
And please explain what you're about to do.
Well, I've filed the permitting in Revere and then a letter of intent with the DEP. I want to add a screened-in porch to the back of my house. It's a 20-foot by 15-foot deck with it's screened in so the mosquitoes don't carry me away, and a roof. That's pretty much, that's it.
Okay, and have you heard back from the DP at this point?
No. I mean, initially, before I filed it, I sent smoke signals. I didn't get anything. It was filed last week, and I've been trying my best to get in touch with somebody to further see what I need to do, but it's just, I'm not getting anywhere.
Okay. I know that email went out from Ashley as it was plans for the porch.
Yeah.
Could you describe because I actually went online, I looked at the aerial photography of it, and it shows that you had a fair amount of impermeable surface where the porch is going. So I think what we're mostly concerned about is changes, say, in permeable surfaces.
Actually, if anything, the driveway is going to stay, but where the deck covers, there's asphalt now, and that asphalt is actually going to get removed. So underneath the deck will be probably just crushed stone and whatever, just so there's some drainage. It'll be better than what the current situation is. Yeah,
Any members wish to ask questions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Hi.
Hi, Norm.
Just a couple of things. Now, you're going to have this how high up? Is it like 10 feet from the ground?
Well, the house right now, the first floor, it's raised up, so there's a basement, but the first floor is about 6 feet. About at the high point, it's like 6 feet off the like grade. So the deck will pretty much be just a little bit the same as the first floor level. So it'll be about 6 feet to the bottom of it.
Right. Now, and you said you're moving bituminous underneath.
Yeah, whatever asphalt is there, it's already fallen apart, so now it's just gonna get.
And the foundation for this is going to be sonotubes?
Sonotubes, correct, yeah.
6, 8, approximately?
12-inch ones, and 4 feet down with the whole, the 24-inch footing, and then it'll be on crushed stone, and pretty much there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's about 9 of them in total.
And lastly, the approximate size.
It's, the length of the house is 20 feet, so it's 20 feet, then it's going out 15 feet from the house.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the work proposed by Mr. Belmonte?
I
I'll make a
actually-
motion.
Can I just have, I have one
I'll second it.
question.
Oh, she-
What are the restrictions? Like, what is it about that plot, excuse me, that's restricting you? Why do you have to come up here? Is it just very low? Is it within a wetlands area? Is there part of the
I think,
yard?
yeah, I think just looking into it, the building department, it had gone to the building department, then after a while, he told me I have to go here. Didn't understand why, but technically, yeah, we are kind of in the the house has been there, so, I don't know, I think my family bought it in like the 52. So then, as the years progressed, they developed back towards the marsh. So at one point, behind the house, you could hunt back there. But at this point now, there's Atwood Street and there's housing all behind me. But, so, I guess I'm still technically in the marsh, sort of.
Okay, I did. I looked at the aerial as well. It didn't look like it was going to create any impact, especially where it's up off of the land. It's going to be raised, so I think it's all right.
So let's have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay. So I think right now you'd be able to talk to the building department, the people that you talked to before.
Okay.
And just let them know that, that we have looked at this and approved it.
Okay?
And I think you're probably good to go.
Oh, great.
So, well, thank you. Motion to close out the public hearing.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. And second?
Second.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks for your time.
Yep.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, there was a public hearing for Redgate Partners at Gibson Point 22 Whitten Avenue. I don't believe that there's anybody here. I know that they talked to us earlier, but because this was a continuance, they didn't need to appear. So next on the agenda is Suffolk Downs redevelopment.
That's the point of Pines, isn't it?
Let's see if I even
I
have
think
the
it's the
right thing.
one.
Suffolk, a motion to open this public hearing. And second,
I'll second.
fabulous. And who do we have? Okay, name and address.
Hi, Mike Borowski, 15 Sullivan Street, Charlestown, Mass.
Mike Borowski.
Yes.
And so you have a request for determination of applicability and a notice of intent for site preparation. Could you describe the work that you're doing?
So I'm just going to do a brief introduction, then turn it over to my colleague. So my name is Mike Borowski with the HYM Investment Group here about Suffolk Downs. Good to see you all in
That was
person. I know we've been
canceled,
before the
wasn't it?
Conservation
This
Commission
site
many
was
times over the last,
canceled.
couple of
I got
years.
that
So
message.
just wanted to say hello. I'm going to be turning it over to Andrew Townsend and Ramey Schneider, colleagues of mine, and also Beals and Thomas to walk through those items. So I'll turn it over to Andrew on the bus stop at the RDA first.
Good evening, Andrew Townsend, 59 Coolidge Road, Arlington. Just gonna grab a. So back in 2018, the community of Revere requested that we build a bus stop on Tomasello Road, which runs through the site at Suffolk Downs. The bus stop and a bus turnaround. So the bus stop is here. This is the Stop and Shop. That's the shops at Suffolk Downs. So we've submitted an RDA because the community has, again, requested that we add a bench to the bus stop, which isn't there. So in order to build a bench, we need to widen the sidewalk inward towards Sales Creek here, about 6 feet by 13 feet, I believe our plans are. Let me just double check that. Yes, 6 by 13 concrete pad to put the bench on. And the bench will just be a standard, black metal bus stop bench. And so that we're seeking approval to create that pad, which is inside the land subject to coastal storm flowage as well as the ACEC. And there's just a picture of the bus stop. So we'll be removing a section of the fence, putting the pad, and then installing the bench.
Through the chair, please, question?
Okay, Mr. Lavalley?
Is that going to be enclosed? The translucent plexiglass
At this
top
time,
roof?
there is not going to be a cover now. It's just
No,
gonna
just
be-
a bench.
Just a bench, yes.
Ah, interesting. Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
I noticed that when you drive into the Suffolk Downs, there's a turnaround with concrete barriers.
That's correct.
Is that different from this? Is this connected somehow?
So that's the bus turnaround. So the bus route used to just go down Winthrop Ave and Revere Beach Parkway. When we built the bus stop, it turns into Tomasello. Stops at the bus stop. In order to turn the bus around, it needs that turnaround. So we constructed that in 2018 along with the bus stop.
So that won't be affected, it's just this and
That's correct.
a bench?
That turnaround will stay as is.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks.
Thank you. Do we need to vote on that before we move on to the second notice of intent? This is determination of applicability.
Yeah, I think we can.
Okay. Who would like to make a motion to approve the determination of applicability?
I'll make a motion to that effect, that it is within the wetlands, but it won't necessitate a notice of intent.
And I'll second it.
Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Great, thank you very much.
Good evening. Just going to lower it a little bit. So we're here now for the notice of intent for the early release site work package for Phase 1R extension.
Could you state your name, please?
Oh, I'm sorry,
No
Raimi
problem.
Schneider with HYM. So for those of you, I think everyone has been here in the past when we've come before you, but so just to reorient everyone, this is Phase 1R, our first phase in Revere consists of R1, R5, R3, and R9. We recently went before City Council and presented R10 and R11, and this area south of Boudreaux Street. I'm sorry, can you get closer to the mic? Yes, this area south of Boudreaux Street is called Phase 1R Extension, which is what we're here for today. Previously, the entire site was previously used for racehorse and had associated barns and infrastructure, which has since been demolished under a previous NOI filed with the Conservation Commission. Under this scope of work, where our activities are going to be surcharging so that we can build these future roadways to service the Phase 1R extension area, similar to what we've done in Phase 1R previously under a previous scope of work, installing sediment control methods and stockpiling. And the reason that we're here before you today is that this area is in the land subject to coastal flood, and it's also within the 100-foot buffer zone to bank. With that, if there's any other additional questions, we also have Beals and Thomas here, who's our civil engineer, who can answer any questions.
Questions from the committee?
Yes, hi. A couple of questions. First of all, The footprints of the building are remaining approximately the same as before?
Yes, so the footprints of the previously approved buildings, R9, R3, R1, are all remaining the same, will come for a future NOI filing for building R10 and R11 in the future.
And can I make the assumption that life science entails more or less office, or does it also have laboratories or anything?
Potentially some biomanufacturing laboratories and office space.
Nothing of an industrial nature, I would assume.
No industrial.
So essentially, the footprint would stay the same? And the roadways are
This-
going to stay the same?
The roadways will stay the same. The footprint of this building, we're early on in design, so it may change here or there, but give or take, this is the footprint of what will be the R10, R11 building.
Height, please?
Great question. It's not part of the findings, so it's yet to be determined. Again, we're early on in our,
If I'm not mistaken, you had a particular kind of foundation there, and foundations are in the news right now after what happened in Florida. So I just am curious if I remember correctly, it was some kind of a floating pad foundation rather than pilings.
so again, we will be back before the commission for the R10 and R11 building, but right now we're really here for just the surcharge work associated with being able to build these roadways in the future.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. What is involved with the surcharge work?
So we will be placing soils anywhere between and raising the existing soils anywhere between 1 to 5 feet and leaving it on site anywhere between 3 to 9 months.
So this is just soils that you'll be moving around and, okay.
Correct.
This is similar to work you did previously at
Correct.
one of the other locations. You're like compressing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we've already done this exact same type of work on Phase 1R roadways, and that was completed, it started last June in 2020 and was completed last fall.
Any other questions? Okay. Are there opponents? Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the notice of intent?
I'll make a motion to that effect, Mr. Chairman.
Second it.
Terrific. Thank you all very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Let's take the vote, Dave.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to close our public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
And seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next on the agenda is a notice of intent, Meridian Associates.
Good evening. My name is David Kelly with Meridian Associates. I'm here with Don Sharmela with the DPW and Simon Tempest with Hill International, who is the owner's project manager for this project. I met with you guys, I think it was about May-ish, to talk about the project at the DPW yard. What we're proposing to do is clean the entire yard and build a new 37,000 square foot building that will house a lot of the vehicles, so there will be very minimal outdoor vehicle storage as opposed to what it is now. We're going to pave a majority of the site. We are going to install several catch basins, some vortechnic units, water quality structures to treat all the stormwater created from the site prior to discharging into the Rumney Marsh. We will also be providing an underground infiltration system which will infiltrate all runoff from the proposed building, thus reducing the volume of runoff entering the marsh. The rear portion of the site, as you folks suggested last time, we had the salt shed to the right and the bins to the left. We flipped that as you requested. We are now putting a retaining wall across the entire back of the site to prevent any further migration towards the resource area. The storage bins for the soils and stone and things like that are going to be interlocking block walls, so they do not have the ability to move, so the potential for expansion and migration into the swamp cannot happen. We are before you because we are within the 100-foot buffer to the wetland, to the buffer, bordering vegetated wetland associated with the stream that runs through the back of the site, and we are also within the 200-foot riparian zone. We have met, to the extent practicable, the stormwater management requirements, since this is a redevelopment project. The soils aren't the best out there, but we did what we could to infiltrate and treat and take care of everything we can with stormwater. And our building height is somewhere around 25 to 30 feet tall.
Anticipating that question, were you?
And the maximum building height in that area, in that zone, is 50 feet. So half of the building is going to be offices, which will be a single story, and then the right-hand side will be elevated because we're going to have the trucks in there, and we need the vertical clearance to lift them, to work on the maintenance and things like that.
I believe we did ask how much on-site work was expected in terms of maintenance on trucks. Is that, are you expecting to do a lot of maintenance on trucks in that space, or is that something that you're looking to move out of that space?
So we have 2 bays within the building that will have lifts and will be capable of repairing for the vehicles. There will be floor drains within the building in those areas. Those will be connected to oil water tanks, which will be tight tanks, which will not discharge into any sort of system. They'll just be pumped on a regular basis. So any contaminants from fixing the truck, so if there's an oil leak in the truck and it's inside, that oil will go into a tight tank and get pumped out. It'll never see the light of day.
Great, thank you. Other questions?
Yeah, I'm remembering something about when you originally came before us. Was there and I seem to have questioned something about, did you store either sand or salt in that yard?
Yes, we are proposing a salt shed that's going to be covered.
I think originally you weren't even going to contain that there wasn't a wall or something, and we requested that you put a wall in that?
Correct, and that's what we did. So I'll walk over to you in a
So
second.
that hasn't changed at all?
May I approach?
Sure.
So in our previous submittal, this is the salt shed?
Yep, yep.
We had it over here, and we had all these bins over here. And your comment was, you know, if these bins are over here, the real closest resource area, if they expanded, they might contaminate. You flop it to keep the bins further away from the wetland, and then the salt shed will be built with a wall all the way across the back. And then there'll be a push wall of 8 to 10 feet high inside the salt shed to keep anything from migrating out.
A wall of? Concrete block?
Yep,
Thank you.
you're very welcome.
Other questions?
I'm wondering if we can hear from Dawn, just,
Sure.
hi.
Members of the council. So Don Sharmela, Chief of Infrastructure and DPW. I think this really speaks for itself. I mean, everybody knows what the site looks like. And it needs to be cleaned and remediated. The runoff that we have is, you know, haphazard at best, you know, where it goes. It's not being treated. It's not, we don't have it going into any storm scepters. It's not being, none of the solids are being separated out of the runoff now. So, like Dan had said, the roof leaders will be collected and put into stormwater infiltration, and the runoff itself will be collected and treated before it goes out into the system. Probably about 90%, you know, cleaner than what's happening now, which is basically, it just, like most of the catch basins in the city, it just goes into a catch basin, goes into a drain main, and eventually it ends up into some ditch and then some creek or culvert. And so right now it will be treated. I mean, you can see the site, you know what the site looks like. And it's really, we need to move forward with this project. It's very important. And it'll be, you know, the site will be 110% cleaner than it is now, obviously. So right now, we're kind of at a standstill and would like to be able to move forward with this. It's very important to the city and very important to the DPW.
So you're comfortable with the plans the way they
Oh,
are?
absolutely. We've been working on this for months.
Yeah.
And we've honed this down to, we actually, at one point in time, we had this over at a 50,000 square foot building, basically a place for us to grow into. We have it down to 37,000 square feet, and we've paid every attention to detail of where things go. We've moved the site, moved the building envelope as close to the away from the marsh as physically possible. And if you look at the site plan, you'll see it's tucked into the closest corner away from the marsh. So, you know, that building needs to come down, but we'd like to move forward with removing that building and basically remediating that site.
I think we're all on the same page as you. We want, we want that for you too,
Yeah.
so.
You know what happens when we go ahead with stormwater projects today, and, you know, we'll be collecting our stormwater on this site. You know, we have storm scepters that now basically catch all the solids and the oils that would normally go out into the marsh. So just right there, you have an improvement for the marsh. That's so important to our city.
How many you're proposing for the site?
Dan, I'm not really quite sure about how many, but all the catchment is so it's gonna be calculated to whatever catchment we have.
Yeah.
The storm scepters are gonna be, you know, be able to handle everything that we collect and then, you know, discharge out into the marsh. So it'll be basically treated, or the solids will be collected before it enters the marsh. Any runoff now. See, now runoff now is just falling into a conventional catch basin, landing into a conventional drain main, and unfortunately, it is going out to the marsh.
And you guys will have a preventive maintenance program in
Oh,
place
yes.
to make sure
Yeah.
that that gets pumped?
Yes,
every
yeah,
once
gets
in a while?
cleaned, yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Any other questions?
I have no questions. I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Okay, well, are there any other proponents? Are you wishing to speak? No. Okay. Okay, then great.
Guess I'm too fast on the draw.
Fast on the draw.
Sorry about
No
that.
problem. Ann made a motion. Anyone?
I'll second.
Okay, great. All approved? All,
Aye.
aye?
Aye.
Great. Great, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, committee members. Thank you.
Thank you.
So at this time, I would like to express my appreciation for all of you. I will be stepping down from not only this interim position as chairperson, but also very interim position, and also stepping down from the commission. You guys have, this commission is incredibly important. We do very important work, and I wish you well.
And we thank you, Dave, for stepping in the interim and joining us. It's been a pleasure to work with you. And to Deb, who I hear is stepping down as well.
And also Deb, yeah.
It's been certainly a pleasure working with you as a commission member. And you're going to have big shoes to fill. Hopefully you enjoy as you move on to your next chapter.
Thank you.
But it's been a pleasure having you on board. Thank you for everything.
So at this time, unless anyone else would like to add something, a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Great, thank you very much. Have a great night.